Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
I'm Jerry.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Tom.
It's time!
Live from the CSB studios in Westbury, New York.
It's the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Featuring co-host Kevin Dolan and the host that's been here since day one, Jerry Napoleonello.
On Zeno Radio and
on All Noise Radio.
Tom and Jerry Sports Show live on Zeno Radio, All Noise Radio, and the Live 365 app. I'm Jerry Knapp. He's Kevin Donlin. Thanks for deciding to spend your afternoon with us. We got a lot to talk about today. We have a World Series champion, NFL Week 8, and previewing Week 9. The number to call is 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. Let's start off with the Tom and Jerry Sports Show 60-second summary.
That's right. Mets Cinderella story has come to an end on Sunday after Harvey pitched an amazing 8 innings and he had to talk himself back into the 9th. But the 9th inning wasn't what they had hoped. Royals wound up tying the game up at 2 and in the 12th strung along 5 runs to win Game 5 in the 2015 World Series 7-2, winning the series 4-1. The
1-2 again. Inside corner. The Royals, 2015 World Champions.
Monday Night Football, Colts and Panthers, was slippery to say the least as the Colts wound up scoring 17 points in the fourth quarter to send this game into overtime. Both teams exchanged field goals in an extra time. Panthers were able to kick out just one more field goal to take the W 29-26 to move to 7-0.
Himself after missing the extra point. He smashes a 52-yard field goal to send Carolina to 7-0.
We had 2 undefeated teams square off this week on Sunday Night Football. The Broncos and Panthers were both 6-0, but Peyton Manning and that Broncos defense was too much for Aaron Rodgers and the rest of the Packers team. Broncos pick up the win 29-10, and yesterday picked up tight end Vernon Davis from the 49ers for late-round picks. This week has become a double win for the Denver Broncos. And I'm Kevin Donlin with your Tom and Jerry Sports Show 60-second summary.
So, how was your weekend or week or the 2 weeks that we've really had off? You know, we had a little
happy Halloween.
Yeah, I guess.
We missed. I had a great weekend. I mean, I wound up going out for Halloween. It was nice. It's always nice to go out on Halloween.
Yeah.
It's always, you know, you get to wear your costume and you get to check out other people's costumes. It's great. Good times.
You dressed up?
Yeah, no, I was a Nike model. I wore a lot of Nike. That's basically what I did.
Yeah, I had a rough week, I guess you could say, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
You know, playing football, dislocated my thumb, ended up needing surgery.
Yeah.
So
happy Halloween.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Last Sunday, so you know, we missed the show on Tuesday. It sucks because we had, you know, a lot of stuff going on in sports this week. But I guess I've been having a rough week. You know, get a cracked engine in my car to find out that.
Well, it sounds like a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I've been having a rough week, I guess. But, I mean, nobody's really been having a rough couple of weeks like the Dallas Cowboys have without Tony Romo.
Yeah, moving down to 0-5 now with Tony Romo not at the helm.
Yeah, the 0-5 without Romo now. I mean, they lose this one to the Seahawks. Tough loss. 13-12.
I thought they played a great game. You got to remember the Dallas Cowboys have a very, very good team, a very deep team. You know, a lot of great players on this team, defensively, offensively. Obviously, the loss of Tony Romo is just a big impact. I mean, this team has Tony Romo and what he's able to do on the field. This is a different team. This is a team that goes in and takes care of the Seattle Seahawks, despite the fact of being at home. Seattle is a very good defense. And Darren McFadden continues to be a very, very big bright spot for the Dallas Cowboys. I expect to see big things coming out of him, especially in the next couple of weeks. They're really going to need to lean on him. And one thing every Cowboy fan can cross his fingers with, the same thing every Oakland Raider fan was, can Darren McFadden stay healthy? And right now he's doing just that and performing very well in the first couple of starts that he's had. Yeah, and going to speaking of starts,
Darren McFadden's ex-team, the Raiders.
Yeah.
Raiders and Jets.
Yeah, they started out pretty good. The Raiders took care of my New York Jets with
that
ease.
They did.
As It looked unbelievable in that game.
mean, they made the defense of the Jets look mediocre.
Yeah, at best. I mean, their offensive line played a great game, to be honest. I think Derek Carr had a lot of time back there, and he got rid of the ball very quickly at the same time.
Yeah.
The Oakland Raiders offense looked very, very good. Obviously, Ryan Fitzpatrick, losing him to
that was the biggest part.
He's got a similar injury that you have over there, buddy.
Yeah, he's got ligament damage, though. But, I mean, they just couldn't they just couldn't come back. I mean, Geno Smith ended up getting hurt in that game as well, so they had to bring Fitzpatrick back in without even, he couldn't even take the snap under center. He had to do it from shotgun because of his thumb. His thumb, it's his left, right? I believe it is. So it's not his throwing hand, which is good. But I mean, right now it's, it's up to he can miss a week or he can miss 6 weeks. You don't know.
Depending on whether he's going to have surgery or not.
Well, they did say yesterday that he definitely needs surgery. They don't know when. It could be now. It could be, later. So
it's just a messed up situation for the New York Jets.
Yeah, and they're talking about Petty coming in.
Yeah, Bryce Petty. I wanted to give him maybe a year or two of experience beforehand, but I think Ryan Fitzpatrick has a lot of experience. I think Bryce Petty's definitely learned a lot in the first couple of weeks. But, again, no rookie quarterback's going to come in there and play great. I mean, you look at the two rookie quarterbacks that are in there right now, in Mariota and Jameis Winston, neither one really opening your eyes real quick. I mean, it takes a lot of time to learn an NFL playbook. And I don't care what school you go to. You can go to Harvard. You can go to Stanford. You can go to any of these great schools. An NFL playbook is very, very difficult to memorize. And as a rookie coming in and you only have about a month or maybe 2 months tops to learn these playbooks, it really is very difficult. And it puts a lot of pressure on, especially with the fans and the media and the way, the NFL, it's a big-time sport. It's probably the biggest sport in America right now, and it's very difficult to come into the spotlight right away and perform. Not a lot of rookie quarterbacks do it.
Carr joined Rich Gannon and Jeff Hostetler as the only Raiders QBs since the merger to throw for 300 yards or more with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
And after 15 takeaways, the first 5 games, the Jets have none in the last 2 weeks.
Jets not getting pressure on the quarterback. I mean, they got a lot of pressure on Tom Brady in the first half of that game, but for the last 6 quarters of the season, they basically, they haven't been able to get any pressure. And when you don't pressure the quarterback in the NFL, you're going to have a hard time winning games. I mean, it's good that we were able to get into our 2 teams to start off the bat with our little Week 8 summary, but we want to switch it over real quick. We had the biggest series in baseball.
Yeah, biggest series in sports right now.
Yeah, basically the World Series 2015, New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals, with the Royals taking home the series 4-1. And being from New York, and obviously I'm not a Met fan, I'm a Yankee fan, but you see all the news media and you see how the media reacts to everything, and Terry Collins is on the hot seat and all this kind of stuff. The least person I'm going to suspect for the reason of them losing is not Terry Collins. I mean, you got to appreciate Terry Collins being the reason why you are there to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, Terry Collins gave this guy Jeurys Familia the biggest confidence boost that I think anyone can get. And I mean, this is a big reason why Familia was a very, very good and effective closer for the New York Mets throughout the entire postseason. I mean, I've seen Familia throughout the season. Every Met fan has seen it. You can't just ignore it. Okay, this guy was about to lose his job. He was going to lose his job. He had blown a couple of saves in a row, and it has a lot to do with the fact that he is a confidence guy. He's one of those guys that if the confidence is high, he's going to go out there and he'll be able to dominate and get 3 outs right away or 5 outs, whatever. He was doing so much for the New York Mets. It was very impressive, but his confidence was at an all-time high. All of a sudden, he blows 1 save in the World Series, and that turns into 3 different occurrences where he messed up throughout the entire World Series. It's a confidence thing. It's very simple.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a Yankees fan, and I am happy as anything to see the Mets lose. I am so happy. I know that I maybe ruffled a few feathers on the Overtime app. That is actually our new sponsor.
Overtime, the game that never ends.
But I definitely ruffled a few feathers. with a few of my posts. I never agreed with Yankee fans rooting for the Mets. Never agreed with it. Never will. I don't agree with the New York fan.
Well, I work with the public, and I'm able to see.
You
people.
do work with the public. I don't work with the public.
I get to see people left and right, and they, I've had people come up to me and ask me. They say, well, how come you don't root for the New York Mets? I mean, you're a Yankee fan. You root for the New. Let me tell you something. My Yankees have been in the World Series a lot. In my entire life and growing up and everything.
How many Met fans have rooted for us?
I'm not even just rooted, hated.
Yeah.
They really were very, hope the Yankees lose. I hope, God forbid they win another championship. This team, unbelievable. 100%. I'm not going to sit there and say I rooted for the Mets to lose the World Series.
I did.
But
I did.
I'm at the point now where I just, for me, and I've said this to the public when when I work with them, you basically... Baseball, for me, lost its whole demeanor when the whole steroid era had come. I mean, baseball was the most exciting thing in sports. Like,
because of steroids.
Well, yeah, but you didn't know.
You
just thought these players were one to none. I mean, you had great players from back in the day, and Babe Ruth and DiMaggio and Gehrig, all these guys, and Yankees, all these great players from back in the day. And then you got guys like Barry Bonds that are breaking these guys' records that looked like they were never going to be touched before. Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and then just even guys like Greg Vaughn, like all these guys were just hitting.
Greg Vaughn.
Yeah, they were all hitting home runs. You don't realize Greg Vaughn had a couple of 50-plus.
He really did.
Home run seasons, and you just, all these guys were just like, it was really making you see, wow, baseball is turning into a more exciting sport. But then the steroid era comes in, and now even when any kind of player goes out there and decides to, go ahead and hit 50 home runs, there's the whole speculation factor.
Yeah.
Oh, did this guy take steroids? Oh, well, this pitcher's throwing 102 miles per hour. What's he doing? 103 miles per hour. It's ruined baseball. And if anyone wants to sit there and think it didn't, then I don't know what to tell you. It has ruined the sport for me. The excitement has gone down for me. I thought this playoff in general was actually very good for baseball and the sport. I think it got more television access, and a lot of people were watching these games and these series.
You know what the thing is. You're looking at two teams that the Royals haven't won a World Series since 1985. The Mets haven't won a World Series since 1986.
It's exciting to some degree.
It is.
Yeah, finally some new teams in there.
You got two cities. The Mets.
Well, most cities used to a couple championships. Just on the other side. Though.
Yeah. But, the blue and orange of the New York City got to see their team in a World Series. I mean, the last time that they saw themselves in a World Series was in 2000, and I mean, everybody should know what happened then.
It was 4-1 again. So, for the New York Mets and their fans, this is a disappointing loss. There's nothing you could do. It's very difficult to get to the World Series. I think every Met fan will tell you the same thing. But for the New York Mets and their fans, you got to realize that this was the start of something special. Your pitching is unbelievable. Okay, there's only one way to describe it. You have great pitching, and if that pitching continues to stay healthy, I don't care who you have in your 9-man lineup. Okay, it doesn't even have to have Cespedes in it or Daniel Murphy. It doesn't have to have any of these guys in it. If you have that pitching in the ballpark that you play in, the Mets are going to find themselves with a lot of success next year, including the coming back of Zach Wheeler. You're looking at 5 guys that are just going to go out there 1 through 5, taking on 5th starters of other teams that are going to have no shot.
Yeah.
And these are going to be good matchups for the New York Mets, and hopefully they find themselves right back into the postseason.
Yeah, we're going to get back into this when we get back. Recap of Week 8 and our take on upcoming Week 9 coming up next.
Do you have sports opinions? Or do you want to start your own sports debate? Then Overtime is right for you. Overtime is an app for sports lovers made by sports lovers. This is the best place to talk about sports. Overtime is available at the iTunes App Store. Be a part of something big and help us take the game to OT. Overtime. The game never ends. Follow the NFL this season on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Tom and Jerry Sports Show featuring Kevin Donlin live every Tuesday on Zeno Radio and re-airs Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live.
Every ounce of my blood, with every breath in my lungs, won't stop until I'm phenomenal. However long it takes, I'll go to whatever lengths. It's gonna make me a monster though, but I'm never the same.
We left the show talking about the New York Mets and the World Series, and just talking about how, the New York Mets, and basically this is just, a bump in the road. They're obviously, it's the start of something big. Okay, maybe guys like, Cespedes and Daniel Murphy aren't the kind of guys that are really needed right now for this team. I think Daniel Murphy, I think Daniel Murphy's going to have a hard time finding money in the offseason, okay? You got to remember, this guy hit, 14 home runs all season in 162 games. Okay, you had 6 straight games with a home run. Clutch hitting. Yeah. But it was nowhere to be found in the World Series. Okay, the big error in the World Series. The guys
for people that brought up that Daniel Murphy not hitting, or what, nobody hit behind him. The reason why he was hitting that way in the first 2 series was because he was getting the pitches. He had Cespedes sitting right behind him. Cespedes was kind of hitting, I guess, but he's always dangerous. Daniel Murphy's not dangerous until he starts getting the pitches. And he was hot. He was hot. That's not, I mean, I wouldn't say that he messed up in the World Series. It's just he started getting the pitching. First of all,
But this is not a guy that should be getting the kind of money that he was expecting to get paid.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Going into that World Series was just, I'm sorry. People were talking about the only team that were going to be able to afford him was the New York Yankees. And as a Yankee fan, I'm sorry. I do not want that glove in my infield.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
I don't.
But you know what? He can DH, though. But, I mean, if you got A-Rod, yeah.
You got A-Rod, you got Greg Bird and Mark Teixeira. I mean, we have plenty of DHs already. This is a team
I don't see Greg Bird being up with the Yankees in the beginning of the season.
Well, he should be, to be honest. He definitely earned it.
He should, but they want him to play the field. And
to be honest, as a Yankee fan, I kind of hope Teixeira is on his way, and we should try to get value from him while we can. But, going back to the New York Yankees, or not the Yankees, going back to the New York Mets, but going back to the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah. They were just, altogether, though.
Went back to the World Series back-to-back years, which, let me tell you something.
Resilient.
Being a Yankee fan and being spoiled with all those championships early as a kid, getting back to the World Series seems like no problem.
Yeah.
But it is a very difficult task to do, okay? Especially when you have a team like the New York Yankees to go up against every year as well.
Especially now.
The Royals got a great team. Lorenzo Keane has turned himself into one hell of a player. Alcides Escobar, Mike Moustakas,
Eric Hosmer.
I mean,
Hosmer was batting almost close to 500 with runners in scoring position in the playoffs. I mean, altogether, I think they had 21 in this World Series. They had 21 two-strike hits. That's big.
That's a lot of.
That's big.
You got to shorten your swing up. Two strikes. You got to be able to.
You know what?
Your swing
Coming into the series, I knew it was going to be tough for the Mets pitching because everybody was talking about how they're power pitchers. Yeah, they are. But the Royals are number 1 in batting average against 94 plus. They're second in slugging percentage against 94 plus. They were coming in being able to hit the fastball. The Mets were not going to blow it past the Royals at all in this series, and I knew that.
Yep.
But, I mean, moving on, Royals win this, series 4-1.
They are your 2015 World Series champions, but moving on to the NFL, it's Week 8. And moving on, we'll go right to Thursday night. I mean, I'm not going to go much into this game, folks. But the New England Patriots, take care.
I don't see them losing.
Take care of the Miami Dolphins in decisive fashion. Final score of 36-7. This was a joke of a game. I think Miami they just literally had all their momentum swiped out from underneath their feet. It's like someone took the rug from underneath their feet.
Now listen to this. Brady set an NFL record with his 19th game with 4 touchdowns and no picks. Drew Brees and Peyton Manning have 18.
I'll be honest, I hate Tom Brady, and it's because he's so good. Okay, I'm a Jet fan, and I hate Tom Brady because he's good. Not a lot of people admit that. Literally, nobody will admit that.
It's not just good. He's great.
He is great.
This guy is great.
You're right. He is great. I don't want to say he's great because, I don't want to believe it.
This guy is great.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Talking about greatest of all time, you put him up there.
I know. It sucks.
It's tough to argue it, though. Like, that's the thing.
I'm not going to argue. You don't see me arguing. You just see me saying it sucks.
Brady is 9-0 on Thursdays.
I don't even want to hear stupid things like that. He is a great player. He's been unbelievable. What he was able to do against the New York Jets even last week was unbelievable. How you throw a ball 56 times in a game or whatever it was. And not just win. You didn't throw a pick.
Yeah.
You didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
How do you not turn the ball over when you throw the ball 56 times a game? We've been taught that the game of football is played like this. In order for a defense to go after you, you gotta
be able to run the ball. You gotta change it up.
You gotta be able to run the ball.
You gotta change it up. You gotta give that defense different looks.
If you can't run the football, and you're giving a pass rusher the ability to go to that outside, try to beat that left tackle to the outside, and I'm talking about you letting gaping holes go through because there's no problem. They're not running. They're passing it every down. They're going with empty sets. Do I think the New England Patriots can win a Super Bowl the way they're playing? I do not. I do not, because I've seen this before. I've seen them go to the empty sets. I've seen them go 5 wide receiver sets with guys like Randy Moss on the outside, who is your Gronkowski for this year. He really is. Randy Moss could be equivalent to Rob Gronkowski. And if you're going to tell me Gronkowski was a better football player than Randy Moss, you're out of your bird. Randy Moss had the top speed, top length, could catch the ball, could catch any ball that was thrown to him. And Gronkowski is very similar.
Yeah.
Top speed, I wouldn't say so, but the guy's a monster. He can can knock off any safety, to be honest.
Being that we're talking about Gronkowski had his 19th career 100-yard game, tying Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp for 6th most among NFL tight ends.
Well, Gronkowski's on the verge.
How many times has this guy been in? How many years has he been in the league? 4?
Yeah, he's on the verge of being the best tight end there ever was, to be honest, the way he's playing. But a lot has to do with Tom Brady being a great quarterback.
Well, yeah, but Shannon Sharp had John Elway.
Yeah, it's true.
So, when you're thinking about these tight ends, Mark Bavaro, I don't know if he's up there with the stats and everything like that, but he had Phil Simms. Tony Gonzalez is really the only tight end up there.
Multiple teams.
With multiple teams and not that great of a quarterback.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, Matt Ryan was his best quarterback.
Yeah.
And
that's when
Matt Ryan.
A lot. That's where he brought a lot of the numbers up towards the end of the season.
And Matt Ryan's really.
I know. Well,
he's okay.
Yeah. Well, Gronkowski, again, man, I hate the New England Patriots. I'm going to be honest. I hate the Patriots, but, they're playing the best football
to be honest with you,
right now.
To be honest with you, I love watching them play. And you know what? I don't like.
I bet you love that game when they played the Cowboys, huh?
Well, we had Tom Brady on his
you did
on his tuchus.
Yes. Jets did too in the first half. I just don't know what happened.
Well, that's what happened in the first half of the Cowboy game. But then you know what? The thing that makes this team the greatest, and to the point where they are the great team of this year and whatever, it's because they make adjustments. This team makes adjustments.
I don't know what kind of adjustments you mean, though.
But the thing is,
5 wide receiver sets. You're up by 36-7. You're going 5 wide receiver set. I think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are out for blood. They're out. They're throwing the ball like crazy.
But
it's going to bite them.
In the Cowboys game, the pass rush was getting to him. They go to halftime. We're going to just do 2-yard passes. It worked.
Well, make your secondary go out there and work.
It worked.
Also, a lot of these little pick
adjustments.
Plays. I saw one or two pick plays that these things got to be called.
You know what? You saw it twice in the Giant game on the 2 of their touchdowns. I don't understand. Like some of these plays, like how do you not see that? They did it.
I don't know what the refs are looking at.
I mean, when we get into the Giant game, I'm going to talk about it more. But, moving on because we just stayed on the Patriots way too long. Chiefs-Lions. Chiefs, this was in London.
There isn't much to say about this game either, man.
It really isn't. I mean, Lions are just bad. I see them being sellers. Today is actually the trade deadline, 4 o'clock.
I'll be honest. I don't think you're going to see them be sellers, but this team needs a lot of help. And I mean, it's
a
on
lot
the
of help.
defensive
And you
side.
know what?
Well, I love it. Dealing with a lot of
it
injuries.
because
they're dealing with a lot of
Matthew
injuries.
Stafford, I've always said, is really not that good. Calvin Johnson makes him a better quarterback.
Well, they need an offensive line.
They
getting
do.
no time because they're not running the ball.
They do.
I mean, but they're the purpose. They're the point that I'm trying to say that when you're just trying to throw it at all game, it makes it a lot easier to become a quarterback that's vulnerable to a sack.
Tom Brady to Matt Stafford. Let's be serious now.
Well, I mean, Tom Brady's release is unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. But moving on, 45-10, Chiefs-Lions, Falcons Buccaneers. This was an upset.
Yeah, Buccaneers go into Atlanta and knock off the Atlanta Falcons.
They played well this whole game too. Defense definitely played well.
Yeah.
They sputtered towards the end of that game. Obviously went into overtime.
I mean, even the Carolina D sputtered the other night.
Went into overtime. Buccaneers ended up winning in overtime. They got the ball first in that game too, and they kicked a field goal.
Atlanta obviously wound up not scoring.
Stopped Atlanta. Rams 49ers. Really not much to talk about this game. That other than Todd Gurley is a stud.
And Kaepernick is not.
Yeah.
Kaepernick is going to actually be benched. It's been announced yesterday. He'll be benched for Blaine Gabbert. And, I mean, a lot of the 49ers players, there were reports coming out saying the 49ers players thought that Kaepernick was holding the team back. But moving on, we go to the Cardinals and Browns. Cardinals go into Cleveland, knock off the Browns 34-20 in decisive fashion, even though it really wasn't. Browns were winning early in that game. Cardinals did a great job of coming back late. 49ers and Saints. Saints and Giants. Wow.
This was a shootout.
Yeah, 52-49, right?
52-49.
First team to 50 wins.
Yeah. Breeze threw 7 touchdowns.
13
Eli
passing
threw
touchdowns.
6.
Yeah, 13 passing touchdowns and 1 defensive score on a pick that was very shocking.
Yeah. Vikings-Bears. Vikings win this game 23-20.
I just want to say a weird stat about the Vikings real quick when we talk about this. The Vikings have given up more than 21 points just once all year.
Really?
That's a defense that no one is talking about that is playing great football right now. We're talking a team that literally has gave up 23 points to the Denver Broncos. That is their only game they'd have given up more than 21 points all season long.
Wow. Chargers-Ravens. Ravens win.
Wow, an impressive game. I'm kidding. Neither team is impressive right now. You got the Ravens struggling, especially with the injuries to Steve Smith now.
Philip Rivers is playing good.
They just
can't get wins.
Their defense is atrocious. It's probably one of the worst defenses of football, but it has a lot to do with injuries.
Bengals, Steelers.
Bengals pick off Big Ben twice in the fourth quarter. That's something you never see at a Big Ben. Bengals able to take advantage of it, win on the road against the Pittsburgh. Yeah, their division is theirs. That basically locked up the division.
Close.
I know.
Titans, Texans. Texans finally get a win as well.
Yeah, I don't care about this game.
Yeah, neither do I. This was the biggest game that I thought was going to be the best game. Broncos, Packers, both 6-0 going into this game.
Who's got the better defense? The Denver Broncos.
Absolutely.
By far, absolutely. Packers, obviously, the same team as always. Aaron Rodgers and company. Your defense, question mark, as always.
You want to hear a funny stat?
Yeah.
Alex Smith had more rushing yards.
I heard about this, yes.
than Aaron Rodgers passing yards.
I wonder what the odds were on putting money on that. Monday Night Football, we already talked about. The Carolina Panthers knocking off the Indianapolis Colts 29-26 at home. Panthers held to a huge lead late in this game. Andrew Luck brought them roaring back. An impressive performance from Andrew Luck. An impressive performance by Cam Newton again. And this Carolina defense, let me tell you, that guy Norman.
Oh, my God.
Did you even hear T.Y. Hilton's name?
Not at all.
Granted, it was raining, made a lot more of an advantage, but a great performance from Carolina.
By the way, Andrew Luck's playing with multiple fractured ribs as well. That came out
and multiple crappy offensive linemen.
Yeah. Picks and predictions, locks and upsets. And, man, we got some good games coming up this week in Week 9. We'll let you know what you need to know on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Do you have sports opinions? Or do you want to start your own sports debate? then Overtime is right for you. Overtime is an app for sports lovers made by sports lovers. This is the best place to talk about sports. Overtime is available at the iTunes App Store. Be a part of something big and help us take the game to OT. Overtime, the game never ends. Follow the NFL this season on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Tom and Jerry Sports Show featuring Kevin Donlin live every Tuesday on Zeno Radio and re-airs Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. The Tom and Jerry Sports Show picks and predictions for Week 9.
We are back. And just basically what I just said, picks and predictions, Week 9, as we go into the game starting off on Thursday night. You have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals 7-0. Best start for them, and I don't even know how long. The Bengals, very great performances in the very early part of the season. Their defense is healthy, to say for the least. They're very, very good. Vontae's perfect, even just coming back for them. A huge boost. They've lost Ray Maliuga, which is a little bit of a hit, but getting Vontae perfect, whatever you say his name, very great player. And Bengals continue to roll, without a doubt. Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cincinnati as well. They're just altogether. They're overall their whole team is just is good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just playing. They're playing on all, every facet of the game. They're playing well.
Offense, defense, special teams. A very, very great performance in the early going. They're unbelievable.
Sunday Night Football. Eagles, Cowboys in Dallas.
Okay, so I'm going to bed early, or
I have to say. I mean, you know what? Cowboys.
Yeah, me too. I actually agree with you 100%. I think the Cowboys' defense is back to healthy. I think they are very effective. I think Sam Bradford sucks. I really do. I think he sucks.
Yeah.
I think they should be able to run the ball like crazy all over the Eagles all game long. And this is a game where I don't even think it's close. I think the Cowboys win this game with ease.
Yeah. Jets, Jaguars.
Biased.
Jets.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jets too.
That's easy. Giants and the Buccaneers. Woo!
Who do you got for this one?
Giants.
I'm going to go Bucks. I think, honestly, everyone is getting pressure.
Yeah.
On Drew Brees. Everybody. And you found a way to give up 52 points to Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Everyone is hitting Drew Brees this year. Their offensive line is not good. The Giants cannot get a pass rush. I don't even care if four-finger JPP comes back. It's not going to make a difference. This team cannot pass the quarterback.
Did you see the pictures of his hand?
I don't want to talk about it. That's the one. I mean, I
don't know if he's got 4 fingers. I think it's more of maybe 3.
3.5, something like that. It's really, really bad. And I don't think he makes that much of an impact in the early going when you can't even grab it. The Buccaneers win this game. Buccaneers still have a great defense. I think people don't realize how good of defense they do have. They were able to stop Atlanta for about 3 quarters straight. The Giants with a really good offense should be able to move the ball, but I don't think any pressure gets hit on Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston takes care of business. And close game. I think the Bucs come out at home and win this game.
Yeah.
This should be the Sunday Night Football game. No offense, not your Cowboys and Eagles.
Definitely, I agree with you on that.
Packers going into Carolina to take on the undefeated Carolina Panthers, 7-0, 6-1 Packers. And I'm going Packers here, Bowie.
I'm going Panthers.
Understandable. I mean, this is the same kind of team that Denver Broncos have. I mean, Denver Broncos' offense has looked mediocre at best, but their defense has been superb. And Carolina Panthers have a similar team to that.
Absolutely.
And, I think the Packers might find themselves in a little bit of trouble early going in this game. But, I mean, I'm going to just go with the Packers. I don't see Aaron Rodgers losing 2 in a row.
Yeah. We got Redskins, Patriots.
All right, Patriots are next.
Patriots.
Yeah, next.
Saints, Titans.
I think the Saints come back and win this division. Is that crazy to say?
Well,
I take them to win this game without a doubt, and I think they come back and win this division. I think this division is wide open. They're 4-4. Falcons are only 5-2 right now. Granted, the Falcons, you know,
the Panthers are in that division.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what?
They ain't winning that division.
Well, not the division.
They'll probably get in second.
I think they might make the playoffs.
You think they're going to make the playoffs?
I mean, what other teams in any of these divisions are making the playoffs? The Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Washington. There's one team making it out of that division because that division winner is going to be 8-8.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you got the Rams and Seahawks. They'll probably both make the playoffs. 49ers and St. Louis. I mean, not St. Louis. The 49ers and what am I thinking of?
49ers, and that's the NFC West. So you got the Seahawks, you got the 49ers, you got Rams, and then you got the Cardinals.
Well, you got the Cardinals and Seahawks in that division. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And that'll be two teams going from the division. I think the Saints sneak in and become the sixth team. They look really good right now. I think their defense has been much better. You got to remember, in the early going, there was a lot of rookies on this team in the early going. It's very, very difficult for these rookies to come in right away and perform. It's very difficult. Yeah. I don't care what anyone says, anyone does. It's very difficult to perform in that kind of nature. So, I have the Saints going on beating the Titans this week. Who do you got?
Yeah, I got the Saints. I mean, the Titans still don't have Mariota.
He might come back.
Even with Mariota, I don't think they win this game anyway. So, yeah,
in
Saints.
the Dome, I think Drew Brees at home. Titans defense really hasn't gotten too much pressure on a lot of players. The Saints go on and roll.
Yeah.
Get over 500, which is impressive because they were 1-4 to start the season.
Yeah.
Dolphins and the Bills. I can't believe I completely forgot the Carolina Panthers in that division. They got that division locked up basically right now. Dolphins and Bills. I got the Bills though taking care of business at home. Dolphins look really good the past couple of weeks, but I think people have forgotten about the Bills and that defense. I think they're able to stop Tannehill.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Bills as well. I think they've been struggling a little bit. Is Tyrod Taylor coming back in? Is he in? What's the deal? You got E.J. Manuel.
I don't care. E.J. Manuel, Tyrod Taylor are the same player. They really are. I don't see a difference. They both can run. Tyrod Taylor was more effective with his running game. That's it. The only thing was that he was a little bit more effective. E.J. Manuel wasn't even like the worst player ever when he came in. He played okay.
Yeah.
Rams go on, take on the Minnesota Vikings, and I think the Vikings keep that streak going. They're going to give up less than 21 points in this game and roll.
Yeah. You picked the Rams?
No, I took the Vikings.
The Vikings. Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings as well.
Nobody could score over 21 points on this team, and I'll tell you right now, if the Rams aren't going to score 21 points in this game. They really aren't. I think the under/over this game will probably be like 38. Raiders take on the Steelers. Steelers at home, and again another home team for me. I'm going to go with the Steelers only because I hate the Raiders.
I am going to go with. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
No, I understand. Steelers being at home. Steelers are a different team at home.
Big Ben's back.
This isn't going to be an easy game for the Steelers. I think the Raiders have played some really great football. Obviously, the only reason I'm hating the Raiders right now is because of their win over the New York Jets. My New York Jets, just a game that I really thought we could have played better at.
Yeah.
Raiders been playing some impressive football, though. I think taking the Steelers on at home with Big Ben just coming back, just bad luck for the Raiders. And I don't know, even without Le'Veon Bell, I think the Steelers roll.
Yeah. Falcons, 49ers.
I mean, the 49ers are at home in this game, and I mean, having Blaine Gabbert, Falcons.
Yeah, I think you got to go with the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons, struggled the last 3 games.
I don't care.
Losing twice, but I mean, you're playing the 49ers. The 49ers are just awful.
Yep.
Broncos and the Colts.
Andrew Luck's having some easy defensive matchups the past couple of weeks. Let me tell you, this is a great matchup against the
Peyton Manning going back to Indy.
He's going to win. So.
And I think we see a absolute blowout. If we had the blowout of the week, this would be the blowout.
Understandable. I think Denver Broncos roll very easily. I think the Colts defense is just atrocious. I think the offensive line is just going to have such a hard time with Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. I mean, good luck, Andrew Luck. I feel bad. I just hope he stays healthy at the end of the game. Bears taking on the Chargers Monday Night Football, and I'm going to go with the Bears, even though this is going to be a very back-and-forth game. I don't think either defense is intimidating whatsoever. I think both quarterbacks are going to go off. I think if you have a daily fantasy league and you wanted to take every single player from this game, I think you can win. And I'm not even joking. That does not happen a lot.
You can't do that though, but
Oh, you can. You could pull it off.
you can't pick what 4 guys from a team. Oh yeah, so yeah, all right, yeah, you can do that.
Oh, I mean, it's thin.
Yeah.
But maybe pick a different defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think you can go with an entire team from this game alone and be successful. I mean, if you could take like maybe a Jay Cutler and Alshon Jeffrey and Antonio Gates, maybe Malcolm Floyd even as well. These are a lot of cheaper options you can go with. And every guy I just talked about is pretty cheap. I even think Alshon Jeffrey's too cheap for this matchup. This is a juicy matchup. Neither defense is effective. I'm going with the Bears with my fingers crossed, hoping that they're the last team to score because that's the kind of game it's going to be.
You know what? I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go with the Chargers.
So you think the Chargers are going to be the last team to score? Because that's the kind of game. It's literally that kind of game it's going to be. I mean, mark it down right now. You heard it here first. A lot of scoring, back and forth. Monday Night Football. Enjoy. This Monday night will be exciting. Even last night was exciting, too.
The Tom and Jerry Sports Show presents the Lock of the Week for Week 9.
Lock of the Week. Who do you got?
My lock of the week, I'm going to go with the New York Jets. Taking on at home against Jacksonville. I think they come out strong after a couple of bad outings. I think Todd Bowles is going to get this team on the right track.
I am going to go with the New Orleans Saints. Yeah. I think they absolutely blow out the Titans.
With ease.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think, upset?
Oh, we got an upset.
It's time for Jerry and Kevin's Upset of the Week for Week 9.
Upset. Who you got?
I'm going Packers. I don't care.
Woo!
I like the Packers. I know it was a rough game last week against a tough defense. You're taking on another tough defense this week, but Aaron Rodgers figures it out, takes care of business.
You know what? I'm going to go with Washington. No way.
Whoa.
Jose. No, I'm going to go, being that you went biased on your lock, I'm going to go biased on my upset. If you want to call it an upset, I'm going Dallas Cowboys.
I understand. At home, should take care of business. I think they're going to take care of business, without a doubt. I think the Cowboys,
even though they suck right now with
their running game is unbelievable. I think Darren McFadden runs for over 150 yards in this game, maybe 2 touchdowns, takes care of my fantasy team to the win, and goes on and wins that game. Eagles suck.
Yeah. We are going to go to a break. Everyone's favorite Fantasy 14, what you need to know when you're trying to set up your starting lineups, or even our daily fantasy lineups, are next on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Do you have sports opinions? Or do you want to start your own sports debate? Then Overtime is right for you. Overtime is an app for sports lovers made by sports lovers. This is the best place to talk about sports. Overtime is available at the iTunes App Store. Be a part of something big and help us take the game to OT. Overtime. The game never ends. Follow the NFL this season on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Tom and Jerry Sports Show featuring Kevin Donlin live every Tuesday on Zeno Radio and re-airs Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports, or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live.
I will fight till I take my last breath. I got the heart of a warrior, the heart of a warrior. I've been down, I've been out, and I've been.
Yeah.
I got the heart of a warrior.
Believe.
The heart of a warrior.
Yeah.
I never back down.
Yo, born fearless.
The Tom and Jerry Sports Show Fantasy 14.
You heard it there. Fantasy 14. It's the Fantasy Football Week, Week 9. I hope you did well on your Week 8. I hope you didn't listen to me for your Week 8 Fantasy daily lineup. I looked at my daily lineup. Didn't even come close. Probably should have went and took Drew Brees. I actually have him on a standard league, but I didn't go with him in daily. Probably should have. Giants worst secondary in football.
Whoa, I won $2.
There you go.
Woo!
Who's your big name? I want to hear it.
I had a few, actually.
Yeah, right.
Philip Rivers.
Nice.
Did pretty well for me. I had Willie Snead.
Wow.
That was my big pick.
That was the guy I had on my bench.
Yep, that was my big pick of the week.
Nice.
Willie Snead.
Nice.
2 touchdowns.
Nice cheap option. Dallas,
Absolutely.
I mean, New York Giants, worst secondary in football,
Absolutely.
without a doubt. They're just really one of the worst secondaries. It's so bad. Collins being the biggest bright spot in the secondary. They lost one of their corners. That's really a big, big hit for them. But moving on, we're going to go to our daily fantasy lineup. And for the quarterback matchup, who do you have as your quarterback?
I am going to go with the same quarterback that I went with last week, Philip Rivers. Going up against going up against Chicago.
Don't blame me. I talked to you about this already.
21st.
I think you could take an entire lineup from this game on Monday Night Football and take care of business. I like it. Great call with
the 21st ranked defense against the pass. You got to go with them.
I'm going to go Big Ben because I think this is a game that can go back and forth. I think the Raiders have a very good offense. I think they'll be able to move the ball in the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. It hasn't been anything intimidating at all. That offensive line playing great for Oakland. Derek Carr can go out there, score points. Oakland's defense, atrocious. I'll be honest. It's really not effective at all. They could stop the run, so they might be able to do some help on D'Angelo Williams, but I think Big Ben throws the ball around in this game, no problem, takes care of business.
It was funny when we were talking about, when we were doing our daily fantasy lineup, we both brought up Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, well, rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, going up against Oakland. So, running back, who do you got?
My number one running back this week, without a doubt, is going to be Darren McFadden against the Eagles defense. Eagles defense, not the worst, but definitely not the best.
Yeah. I went with another player in the San Diego-Chicago matchup. I went with Danny Woodhead.
Nice.
I think
a lot
Danny
of passing,
Woodhead,
100%. They're going to have to throw the ball all game. I mean, San Diego's defense is atrocious. So is the Bears. Both defenses, again, just very bad. And I'm going to running back from this game, too. And I'm going to go with the backup to Matt Forte, Langford. And this guy's a cheap option, $4,000. That's my running back number 2, going with Darren McFadden. But I like that Woodhead play.
Yeah, my second running back, Doug Martin, going up against the Giants.
That's tough. You got to be careful. Charles Sims being a bigger impact in that game. I think there's a lot of throwing early on. Be careful with that pick.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a risk, but I think Doug Martin can throw the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, well, I figured, the way that you win money in daily fantasy is picking up a guy that nobody picks.
Yeah.
I think Willie Snead was taken 5% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was big. That was big for me. So, you got to step outside the box. I went with Doug Martin.
I understand. I got to understand your standpoint there. For me,
being that I'm not submitting.
You went pretty cheap on running backs, I could tell.
Did.
So did I. I didn't spend any more than $4,300 on either one of mine. So who's your number one wide receiver?
My number one wide receiver, all right, Dez Bryant.
I'm going to go with Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
Odell Beckham Jr. take it on the Tampa Bay secondary. Julio Jones, I don't even want to tell you the numbers from last week against Tampa Bay, and that was a team that had a hard time scoring.
Yeah.
So obviously they have a hard time with their number one corner. I think Odell Beckham Jr., no problem, 2 touchdown effort, maybe 100 yards. I don't even care if he gets 100 yards, but it's almost a guaranteed 2 touchdowns. Odell Beckham Jr.
Who's your second?
Julio Jones. I went very expensive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went very expensive on wide receiver this week. It's why I went very cheap on my running backs, and my tight ends are specifically cheap as well. A matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco, oh my God. Worst secondary in football, one of the worst, maybe top 5 with the New York Giants and the Saints. These teams, they can't stop anybody. And this is a passing-heavy league. I think Julio Jones, hands down, number 2 receiver.
Amari Cooper.
Actually, Julio Jones technically number 1. He's more money.
Yeah.
But Amari Cooper, I like that pick. Pittsburgh
going against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, terrible secondary.
22nd ranked. I think Amari Cooper is going to have a good game.
I agree. Who's your wide receiver number 3?
Marcus Colston.
I like that, actually. I saw Colston body a couple of Giant defenders last week, which was very impressive.
Do you mean the one that he
trucked?
Well, did you see the one that he was 30 yards where no Giant defender was even close.
Not talking about that play. That was a complete defensive breakdown. But the Giants secondary, again, we talked about this.
Horrendous.
It really is one of the worst. If you want to get it's tough. I mean, Mike Evans could be a good pick for you this week. I'm not.
You know what? I put him in. And then I took him out.
There's a lot of good options this week.
I thought about it, but then I was like,
Well, I stuck with that Chicago-San Diego game for my wide receiver number 3. I went Alshon Jeffrey. Again, very expensive on my wide receivers. I went very cheap on tight end, very cheap on running backs for this particular reason. I want these 3 men in there. I wouldn't even mind Mike Evans in this lineup as well. Obviously, I'm not Superman. I can't fit it. I can't fit all that in there. But who's your tight end?
You're going to be surprised with this. Being that he's going up against a very good defense.
Who?
Gary Barnidge.
Tight end, Cleveland, right?
Cleveland.
Who's he playing?
Cincinnati.
That's tough.
That is tough.
But he is a goal line threat.
Cincinnati is the 25th ranked against the tight end.
And I'll be honest, Cleveland's really been going after the tight ends, especially in the red zone. I mean, to the point where even I think Phil Simms called that game or something. He's sitting there and he's just watching the game. He's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they went to Barnidge here. And they did. Literally,
they did.
He didn't even make the catch that particular play, but it's just they know that Barnidge is going to be a big threat coming in the red zone. Very good pick. I'm going with my philosophy that I've been going with since the beginning of the year.
Oakland?
Yeah, against Oakland every week. Heath Miller to match up with my Big Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. Match up a little combo action with Heath Miller and Big Ben. Hopefully they meet for a couple of tutties. Oakland just atrocious against the tight end all season long. Obviously, nothing for the Jets because Jets don't have a tight end. Probably a big reason why they lost. But
flex them.
Heath Miller.
Flex them. Who you got flex?
Flex, I'm going with Jordan Reed.
Jordan Reed, all right.
Matchup against New England. I think a lot of passing in that game. I think Kirk Cousins has no choice. I think maybe he can get a couple of garbage tutties late.
Okay.
Very cheap option.
I went Jeremy Hill.
I like it.
Going up against Cleveland, 30th ranked.
Be careful, because that Thursday night game could be a little tricky. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of scoring in that game. Could be. I mean, I've been proven wrong before, but that's a tough game.
I went with
There's a lot of juicy matchups out there. Now, defense. That's all we care about. Play some defense. Who do you
know
like?
what? I went with the Atlanta Falcons. Going up against San Francisco. New quarterback. Their offense is horrendous.
I like it.
Reggie Bush just got hurt. He's out for the season.
Carlos Hyde not playing either.
Carlos Hyde's not playing.
But they're going to have Anquan Bolden.
Whoop-de-doo.
I know, I'm kidding. Vernon Davis obviously not on that team anymore. I like that pick, especially with them even being on the road. That could be a cheaper option. I went with the Jets. I don't think there's any way the Jets go a third game without a turnover. I think Blaine Gabbert, I wish he was starting for Jacksonville. Blake Bortles been playing very good. A couple of good wide receivers they have over there, but he's really been sticking to his outside. I think that's somewhere where the New York Jets excel. They actually have very good coverage corners for the outside, and I think the Jets go after them. So I think this could be a game where the Jets are at home and find themselves giving up less than 10 points.
All right, well, we're going to go into a little start 'em, sit 'em a little bit. We'll give you some extra players that you might want to take a look at. Quarterback, you have Tom Brady against Washington. Obviously, that's always, Tom Brady's just a money pick right now, but you also got to think, if you're doing daily fantasy, how many people are picking Tom Brady? That's the biggest thing. So,
well, he's going to be very expensive, and in a week where this is going to be, I think this is going to be a very high-scoring week. You're really going to have a hard time picking someone cheaper to take care of business. For a Tom Brady pick, a great pick, Washington good, but and they're definitely going to keep scoring like crazy.
Yeah.
But can you fit him in your daily lineup?
Andy Dalton?
I'd go Phillip Rivers instead.
Really?
Yeah, I'd go Phillip Rivers over Tom Brady all day long. I think the matchup is just juicy as hell, to be honest.
Andy Dalton, definitely a good play against Cleveland. So, that's always a good play. Cam Newton against Indy. Oh, well, wait. Cam Newton's not playing Indy.
No, he's playing the Packers.
Yeah.
Which could be a good matchup.
Yeah.
I think if Aaron Rodgers starts to throw some tutties early on in the game, force them to go out there and make some throws, this is someone that we might be able to, you could probably get for a little bit of a cheaper option. Again, I don't see them being a big time, but, again, if I were to take one sleeper this week, though,
It's not Kirk Cousins.
It could be New England match. I told you, I've talked about the New England defense. They are one of the worst defenses in football. I know they've been playing some great football the last couple of weeks, but I really do like Kirk Cousins. I mean, it's a game where they're going to have to throw it.
Yeah.
Even if it's garbage time, you got to remember these garbage time points are just as good on DraftKings or FanDuel as anybody else. So you don't really need a team. If you're going to take a team that's going to have the lead the whole game, you got to pick the running back for that team. I've always talked about this. You want to pick a team that's leading the game. You don't want to take someone like Tom Brady that's going to take a 21-0 lead over New England. I mean, Washington. Now, Tom Brady's a different. Well, Tom Brady's a different scenario because of the way Bill Belichick coaches. But most of these teams will go out there and run the ball, try to protect the lead.
Like
for example, Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, running back Devontae Freeman against San Francisco.
They expect Atlanta to have the ball and the lead early, and when you have the lead early, what are you going to do? You're going to hand the ball off to Devontae Freeman a hell of a lot. Devontae Freeman, a great player running back this week.
Yeah. Also, Chris Ivory.
Again, Jets going up against Jacksonville. Jets need to take the lead early. Who are you going to give the lean on? Chris Ivory, without a doubt.
Danny Woodhead, like I said.
Yep.
Lamar Miller against Buffalo.
Adrian Peterson is someone to sit, folks. It sounds crazy, even in your standard league. You're going up against the St. Louis Rams. They have had a very, very hard time, the Minnesota Vikings. This game could really end up being... This could be a 10-7 game. I wouldn't even. This would be a very low-scoring game, probably one of the lowest-scoring games in the whole year.
Wide receiver, Julio Jones is definitely a good play. Basically, if you get the pattern going on right now, pick anybody against San Francisco.
Yeah, the secondary is atrocious.
You got Keenan Allen, but he's probably going to be out.
Yeah, he's
so I don't.
Injury right now.
I don't think that's a good play. T.Y. Hilton really hasn't done anything this year, so I don't even like him at all. Odell Beckham, like you brought up before. A.J. Green against Cleveland. Even Jarvis Landry against Buffalo is a good play. Sleeper. Bleacher Report has Rashard Matthews from Miami. That could be a good play.
Yeah, it's definitely a good play.
Tight end, real quick before we get out of here. Obviously, Rob Gronkowski is always a big play.
You start Gronkowski every week. I don't care who he's playing.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a difference.
Gary Barnage, like I said before.
Yep.
Tyler Eifert is a good play.
Greg Olsen.
I would even say Greg Olsen's a good play as well.
Jordan Reed too. I think New England's winning right off the bat. I think Washington finds themselves throwing a lot, especially during garbage time. I think Jordan Reed finds a way to get into the end zone once, maybe twice.
I've been liking a lot Benjamin Watson. Play for Benjamin Watson lately.
There's a lot of great options this week, though. I don't know if this is the week to possibly do it. But you know what? He had a very slow week going into the very late. I mean, Ben Watson's been a sleeper at tight end this year, without a doubt. One of the best waiver pickups of the season.
Absolutely. But that will do it for the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday. We'll give you a time. We don't know yet. But Tom and Jerry Sports Show brought to you by Overtime.
The game never ends.
But that will do it. We'll be back next week, as I said. Hope you guys have a good week 9. And hopefully you win some money with your daily fantasy.
Exactly.
But I am Jerry.
I'm Kevin.
Be breezy.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Tom and Jerry Show.